The BBC Charter is an improvement in draft before it's finalised, but it must go further. So we have managed to secure, as the Scottish Government, improvements in relation to a new public purpose to reflect and represent and serve the nations and regions. For the first time, we're going to have a Scottish Service Licence Agreement and also an impact study on how the BBC can impact on creative industries to make sure there are not more jobs, skills and talent provided. But it has to go much, much further. It's got to reflect evolution in terms of the transfer of decision making, in terms of budgets, in terms of commissioning. That's really, really important to make sure that Scotland sees the BBC representing itself as a nation. And so much more can be done. There is still time to influence this charter. That's what the Scottish Government will seek to do. But it really is important that we respect the independence of the BBC, and therefore issues around how the BBC in its programming will better reflect, represent and serve Scotland will be made by the BBC, and I am quite clear that they understand the need to do that in both their programming and in some of the editorial decisions they'll make. That is up to them. That is an independent decision. Well, now the UK Government has published this draft charter. The Scottish Parliament and the Scottish Government can scrutinise it. I've managed to secure the involvement of the Scottish Government throughout this process, and of course the Parliament will have a chance to debate this draft charter, to feed in their views. And I think the consensus in Scotland, not just from a political point of view, but from the television industry themselves and those that are interested, is that we want to see the BBC Charter go much further. We've published a blueprint of how they can do that, and we hope that they would take up that opportunity before the final decision, which will take place and the lodging of the Charter at the end of this year.